Hi, Chessie.
Hello.
Welcome to the PLT podcast.
Thank you. It's so nice to be in bed with you.
Honestly, I'm so happy to have you here.
That's so good.
We've got a special episode for the new year today, and as Instagram's big sister, we thought you'd be the best guest to have on. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year. I can't believe it.
2020. That's huge.
It's a big year, and we're going to talk all about what's coming for the year for you and kind of a little bit about last year.
Yeah.
I want to start with New Year's resolutions. So resolutions is a huge thing that people always talk about, not always set. Did you set yourself a resolution last year? And if you did you achieve it? Did you stick to it?
So every year I do a to-do list,
Okay.
as in like, not a to-do list because that sounds really boring, like you have to do the washing and stuff. But like, yeah, that was my New Year's resolution, to do the washing.
Do the washing up.
So much fun. So no, I do like almost like a bucket list of like the year. So I do 5 things that I really want to do.
Okay.
And I was actually looking back at them, like I feel like it's a time of reflection in between Christmas and New Year. And I was actually looking back and I was like, I have done all 5. And I actually, and it was more just for me, it wasn't really work things, it was more like go swimming, like things that I used to do when I was younger that I really wanted to like bring back into my life. Because like I feel like when you're an adult, like a real life adult, you're like, oh, I could do those things, but I've got way more things to do.
You get
like
consumed by work and what you're doing.
Yeah, so I did those things.
So what were those 5 things? I'm excited to know.
So dancing, because I used to dance. I mean, I never stopped dancing. Like I'm a professional, like dance around in my naked
in your underwear
in
for
the
Instagram,
kitchen.
for sure.
Absolutely professional, self-proclaimed. And yeah, so I went back to a class, and it was like it was really weird because like it was obviously like everyone else were dancers, and I went in and I was like,
oh, really?
I haven't danced in ages, but I'm gonna do it, and it was actually really fun. But it was just more for me, and I actually felt really good. And then the second one was singing, and like obviously always sing in the shower. So did that. I did rollerblading, which was hilarious.
Remember when you used to do rollerblading?
Remember, exactly. And now I know why my mum put knee pads on and like everything else, like wrist pads, because half of my knee is still left in Battersea Park. Honestly, like a chunk of my knee is still there, and it's but it's a scar to remember.
It's got a nice star on top of it today.
Exactly.
For anyone that can't see, we've got a nice star, onesie on.
Yes, it's very, very comfy. It's like a onesie for a 6-foot tall girl, which is not like, it's hard to find, but it works.
It works. You look great in it. I love it.
6-foot girls. Thank you. That's and then, oh my God, how many are we on? Anyway, did that, and then it was great. And then one of them was swimming, because I was like, I just want to get back into like just being free and being in the water, and yeah, it was great. So like things that I was like, that's my bucket list of and accessible things. It's not like I'm saying, oh, I want to go like to Africa and
skydiving, crazy things.
I mean,
people do for obviously like a bucket list, but for a nice New Year's, that's a nice idea. I think I might try that out.
Reliving like your childhood things.
And what's the biggest thing that you will take away from 2019? What's the biggest thing you've learned, do you think?
I think like self-discovery and just self-appreciation. I think it just goes back to that whole like be your own best friend, and just really like I always think when that negative self-talk is like just on a constant, it's just noisy in your head, isn't it? It's like, oh, you're not good enough, you shouldn't be doing this or whatever. And it's just going back to that, like, I think it's that thing where you go, would I say this to a stranger? No. Would I say like, oh God, your legs look gross when you sit down? No. Would I let anyone else say it to me? No. So why am I saying it to myself? And I honestly always just go back to that, like just speak to yourself as if you are your own best friend, because you just would never say that. Well, unless you were like a brutal best friend that was like, oh, your arms look too big in that.
Imagine
which you
wouldn't.
No,
you wouldn't do it.
I mean, there might be friendships out there.
If that's happening, you're maybe not best friends.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, get rid of them.
Time to realise.
2020 is the year to
That's it. Get out all the negativity. We're not having any negativity in 2020.
So that is for me, and that's something that works for me. Like it might not work for everyone else. But I feel like I always come back to that, like that talk in my head, that even if it's about like my body, or if it's about work, or if it's about something, it's just like, would I say that to anyone? No. Would I let anyone say that to me? No. And I think it works.
Strong message.
Thank you.
And you're really big into health. So at Christmas time, we've just had Christmas. Do you let yourself sort of gorge out? Do you enjoy Christmas with all the food, drinking? What's your kind of thing? Are you
all
quite
of
strict?
it? No, like come at me.
I knew you were going to say that.
Come at me. No, like
bring
it's
all
the
the
most...
turkey and the trimmings.
Whoever enjoyed a Christmas saying, oh my God, yeah, so 350 calories for lunch. And then like, no, like I will eat the whole box of
I've
celebrations.
just realised I said turkey, but you're vegetarian, aren't you?
Oh, I'm pescatarian.
Pescatarian. Well, at least I knew. I corrected it there. I knew that. I thought, why have I said turkey? We should have said not roast.
Yes,
yeah. Roast.
But then I always feel like around Christmas I eat way too much before the actual roast dinner or like the actual main part.
Yeah.
And then I'm so full for the
it.
roast and I'm like, brilliant. Like, well, then I carry on. Like, you go past the stage of being full, don't you? And you're like,
you do.
Just keep going.
You just keep going.
But I would never restrict. Like, I've been there and it's not fun. Life is so much more fun than just like counting calories.
I know, that's it. You've got to enjoy it. And how does your like diet routine change going into January? So coming into January now, do you change anything with your diet or your routine?
Literally nothing, like I used to, but now
people
I'm
always
just...
say coming into January like, oh, I've got to change this, I need to be more like this, or you know, and people can be quite hard on themselves, really, can't they?
Yeah, and it really upsets me that there's this whole like almost this culture of like, oh, I have to work it off or I have to earn my calories, and it's like, what? Like, you were not put on this planet just to look good. Like, you were not put on this planet to count calories. You were not put on this planet to live in the gym. Like, I've been there and it is not. It's boring. Obviously there are people that like do work best with counting calories and maybe like consciously making an effort to be healthier. Yeah. But for me, I'm just like, I just like me in January, like I just love going for long walks, just kind of getting out, because like obviously in England we have dark days in January and it can affect your mood. I just think getting out. Hopefully by this point I will have a dog so I can get out with the dog. I know.
Is that an exclusive?
Exclusive!
Tell us about the dog.
Well, a family friend.
Can we say?
Yeah, of course. Oh, well, Matt will know. So it's a present for Matt. So basically, family friend, family dog had a litter, like had babies. She didn't even know she was pregnant.
Stop.
Popped out and I was like, oh my God, I need one. And Matt and I were looking one for ages, and I really wanted to like just kind of get to the right stage, because I want to be a mum more than anything.
Yes,
and Matt's like,
yes, I know.
Hold up. He's like, I know.
Slow down.
He's like, let's just get a puppy first. But yeah, so hopefully by this time. And I just think like just getting out and just making plans just to see people and just be around people. I think that's so much more healthy than cutting down food. Just like fill yourself up with good friends instead of
Now I want to talk a little bit about fitness and your body confidence journey, because going into a new year I think it'll help our listeners that are interested in fitness. How did you kind of get into the gym and fitness?
So my parents are like ridiculous. They're literally Action Man and Barbie.
Really?
Like they are, I mean,
I've seen them skiing. I've seen you skiing with them, and I'm like,
they're wild. Like they will run for fun, and I'm like, are you okay? Like I've grown up with that, and I'm like, what? So I've kind of always been like aware of how to look after myself, to kind of but to be healthy and fit and whatever. And genuinely because I want to be running around with my children and my grandchildren until I'm like 100. I do it for that. I don't do it for me now. I do it for like my future me. Yeah. And I honestly just think like I went through a stage of like rebelling against my mum and being like, my mum knows nothing. Why would I go on a run when I could literally be like on MSN when I was like 16. I mean, MSN Bebo, that's all I wanted to do. And then I think I kind of transitioned into that stage of fitness and like just being, I mean, I lived in the gym. I had a permanent residency in there, and I like spent hours and hours counting calories and just living in the gym until I was about 20. And then I did a bikini competition, which was so extreme. I was like the shade of like a mahogany table, and I had like 6 layers of fake tan and the most expensive bikini I've ever worn. It was like £800 for gold.
You're joking.
Genuinely.
I didn't realise they were that expensive.
Yeah, I sold it for not a lot. It wouldn't even fit my baby toe now though. So I'll never wear it again. And then after that, it took me a long time. So I was told that I was too big for my bikini competition, even at like 9% body fat. And for me, like, I don't even know what I am now. I haven't weighed myself in years, but I think it was just a real knock. And I only realised now how mentally, just it affected me so much. Yeah. And I trained for 18 weeks so hard, like physically. And I was trying to prove to people that I was good enough and that I had this willpower, that I was going to be as small as they wanted me to be. Because I'd been told my whole life I was too big to dance, I was too big to model, and now being told that I was too big to do a bikini competition, which actually was diverse. They basically, their tagline was, "We celebrate all women of all sizes." And I was like, hold on, you've just gone against...
But then they say you're too heavy.
Yeah,
is that what they said?
I was holding too much fat, holding too much weight, and
And you were how old at this stage?
I was 22, so 4 years ago. It was so damaging.
To be told that.
And like, I think I'm quite strong and quite fearless. I'm quite like it. No matter, like, even when I was 16, I was talking about body confidence. Like, honestly, like, I was told I was too big, and they said you need to lose 2 stone. A modelling agency, I was like, well, you're not looking for me then, because I'm not changing. And I think I've always had that message, but it really knocked me. And I was so small, and then I just rebelled against it. And it's only over the last 3 years since I've been sharing body confidence online that it's actually really helped me. The more I share it, the more it's helped me. And I just think that, like, just appreciating what my body does for me now, and just looking after it. And like, I always think I'm like, obviously, like, I'm not a doctor, but I don't think you need a PhD in understanding what your body does, like, functionally.
Yeah.
And I always think, I'm like, oh my God, my heart is beating and it's keeping me alive. Like, my mouth is talking and it's speaking. Like, I just think of my body as like functional. And I'm like, my legs have carried me around for 26 years and I'm so lucky to be able-bodied. And I just think, once you strip it back down and you're like, what's my body doing for me right now? Like, it's amazing.
It's such an amazing way to think, because I think a lot of us take our bodies for granted and we don't think of it in the mechanics of how it works and whatever. It's a lot on the physical side.
Yeah.
When you started training, were you ever self-conscious in the gym, or when you were just...
Oh my God, I'd wear like a full face of makeup.
Would
and
you?
Now I'm just like, I'd be at the gym. So when I was training for Bikini Comp, I had 2 gym sessions a day. And I'd be in the gym at 5, full face of makeup at 5 in the morning, on the treadmill or on the cross trainer, crying. I was like, what am I doing to myself? I was really conscious, and I was always thinking, oh my God, I didn't really care about the girls looking at me, because I've always been like, oh, whatever, we're sisters, like, you get me. But guys, I was like, gotta look fit for the guys. Like, and it's so weird. Yeah, even in the gym, I was like, gotta look good. It was, and I'd always plan my outfit, and like, now I genuinely, if I'm working out, I could literally just be in my pajamas, like, at home, without any makeup on, or like go to the gym and I wouldn't even care.
No.
Genuinely, because like, no one's looking, and if they are, then they're not working hard enough.
That's it. But girls have a lot of pressure on them to look a certain way, don't they? Do you think you felt this definitely when you were younger?
Absolutely. Like, I think there's so much noise, and now obviously added from social media. Like, obviously it's everywhere. Like, bodies are everywhere. And it's annoying, because what I'm trying to obviously spread on my social media is more than just my body. It's more about like everyone else's, but I kind of have to show that through my body, which I'm like, I don't want it just to be about my body. I sometimes wish that I could just write a caption, because I have so much I want to spread and share that sometimes I'm like, I don't have a photo or a video to really back that up. So sometimes I'm like, I just wish I could post a caption. They might do that.
That is something you do. You do these long captions. You post these long captions, and they're so meaningful. And I read through them and think, oh my word, you're doing a great thing. We're going to talk a little bit more about your social media in a second. But something I wanted to touch on was how we've spoken about, young minds when you're younger, girls and probably guys. Dealing with self-image is a hard thing, especially growing up, especially being a teenager. And I mean, in this day and age, I couldn't imagine having to go through it. It was bad enough when we were children. I mean, I think we're a similar age.
26.
27, so we're there.
Good.
But yeah, for children and teenagers now, they've got Instagram, they've got Twitter, they've got social media to look at. So I can't even imagine having to go through that. But something that you've started is Dedicate to Educate.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that, because I feel like this is going to help with what we've just spoken about.
Thank you. I think I just want to use my voice on Instagram just to help people and support people. And I honestly think, as a big sister in real life, to Bronte and Henry, who are now older, but I still see them as my younger brother and sister.
Henry's just gone away, hasn't he?
I know. Oh my God.
I saw that.
I was like, so he's 19 and he's going on a ski season. Then Bronte's away. She's 22. So she finished uni and she was like, I'm off. So yeah, it just feels weird as a big sister, because I've always been there to protect them. I've always been there to look after them. But yeah, I just wanted to go into schools. Like, I wanted to kind of bridge that gap between like student, parents and teachers, because I feel like there's so many different strands, and I can understand it, obviously not being a parent, but I can understand it from a teacher's point of view. I was a teacher for 1.5 years. I can understand it from a student, because obviously I've been a student, and I can kind of talk to that age group, and also just parents to like kind of piece it all together, and just to be that like communication between them and go, right, let's help you in different ways, because teachers have so much pressure on them, like, and I just think that I want to go in and I just want to change the curriculum, because it hasn't changed since we left school, and like obviously it is crazy because things have changed so much.
Exactly, like, the world has evolved and changed in so many ways.
You think like, I mean obviously we had Bebo and MySpace and all of that.
Oh, that was nothing. Like
was
top
nothing.
Friends on Bebo. I say Bebo, it's so
Do you
funny.
think Bebo?
I think it's Bebo. Everyone I meet says Bebo, but I just say Bebo.
Do you know what it stands for?
No.
Okay, this might blow people's minds.
Right, get ready. We're about to learn some. I'm so
Are you
excited.
ready?
Yeah.
Blog early, blog often.
Wait, I didn't even know the term blog when I was that age. I'm not gonna lie.
No, but like, how funny! So that was the start.
Blog early, blog often. We were the early bloggers.
We were the. I mean, the originals.
The originals right here. Oh my word!
How funny! I never knew.
That is hilarious.
I found that out the other day.
Love that.
Yeah, so if anyone didn't know, imagine if you could go and look at our old Bebos.
I would love to do it, but I wouldn't want anyone else to do it. Do you remember there was a time like a couple of years ago when they gave you like a certain login and you could go back and look at your photos, and I was trying to pull them out, but yeah, I mean, they were
once
quite
it's on the internet though,
I know they'll be somewhere in the
we'll find
files.
Them. Black internet. Wait, no, it's not called the black internet. The dark web.
The dark web.
Dark web. So yeah, I just want to go and just change stuff and just try and make a difference and just help teachers and go, right, let's support you, and then let's speak to, like, whenever I go into schools now and do talks, like the main thing is like, how do I get to where you are now without going through like 7 years of body confidence issues? Like, how do I accelerate that process? And I'm like, well, let's do that. Like, you don't need to go through 7 years. So yeah, it's happening. It's obviously, I'm a realist. I know it's taking a while because it's like I'm going through the Department of Education. Yeah. But I just think that they all need support. Like, parents can't be left out, teachers can't be left out, students can't be left out. Like, we need to do this thing. And like, I just think that hopefully it will happen. So I haven't even explained. So I really want there to be 4 different subjects. So obviously in a month, like every single week we have an hour. So an hour of body confidence for men and women, for girls and guys. Mental health issues, so talking openly about everything and how they're feeling. Social media use, so how to use it properly and how to like just obviously, like we all say, curate your newsfeed to how you want to. And then the other one, just literally just an open chat on like, what is going on in the world, and like stuff like mortgages and like all the stuff that
things
I just
that
don't think we were not taught. Like, and teachers obviously take it upon themselves to do it now, but it needs to be in there. It needs to be written in the curriculum, like an hour each. So, and
I think coming from someone like yourself, obviously you're the perfect person for it, but you can understand the world of social media. You've been brought up with it like I have. Yeah. So you can sort of understand, you know, what they're going through. So I think that's really important.
Thank you.
What's it been like speaking to students? Because I did read that a parent contacted you about one of the students to say you'd had such a positive impact. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, well, it's funny because like I love hearing from parents, especially mums, who say, oh my god, I let my daughter follow you and you have literally changed her whole perception on herself, and that's amazing. But it was funny because I spoke about a teacher, and the teacher basically said to the students, was like, I don't want a social media person coming in to speak because it's negative. And she was like 65, so obviously she hasn't grown up, and I completely appreciate, like, I'm quite a chameleon, like I can deal with a lot of different people. And I was just like, that's absolutely fine, just let me talk, because I really hope that I'll shift your opinion. And honestly, so all the students, bless them, they were like, oh Mrs. no I'm not going to say her name, oh my gosh, she doesn't want you here, and I'm really sorry, but like we've invited you. And so it was basically the students were getting really upset, and then I was like, like, don't worry, like it's absolutely fine. She'll hopefully see why I'm here.
Yeah.
And then I spoke, and then after she came up in front of all the students, she said, Francesca, sorry, she called me Francesca, my full name. I was like, I feel like I'm back at school. I was like, where did you get that from? Because I definitely didn't say Francesca. No. But I think one of the students was like, what's your name? What's your name in real life? I was like,
in real life.
In real life, yeah. And she just said, she was like, thank you so much for being there for my girls, of like her students. And she was like, if they're going to follow anyone, we would just really, really hope that they do continue to follow you, because you are really helping them. And I see now why you do what you do. And I think she just really appreciated that I do these school tours and school talks at the moment for free, because I just want to help as many people as I can. But yeah, so it was really nice. I think that was really like rewarding, just hearing from a teacher to
see that change as well.
Yeah, because she was so adamant. She was like, no, I'm not having her talk. So yeah, it was really nice.
That's great. How has your relationship with food and exercise changed over the last few years? You mentioned before about your bikini competition. We want to talk a little bit about that in a second. But how has your relationship changed? Would you ever say that you had an unhealthy relationship with food and exercise?
My God. I literally knew how many calories were in like a bite of an apple. Like
really?
I went to Camp America after being the smallest that I was ever, like at 18, 19. And I was quarter of the size I am now, and I was so fixated on numbers. I was so fixated on like how I was going to avoid food, and and now I'm just like, I honestly have just found that love and appreciation for food, and not taking it too extreme, but also just like that freedom of being like, I know what's good for me and I know what makes me feel good, but also like I'm not letting it affect me in any way. Like it's just such a positive relationship, and it took a while to build up, but it's just like food is fuel, and if I need it, I'm gonna eat it. And like I love being healthy, as in like I do eat like healthily, and like my boyfriend Matt's like, can you stop making all these potions? Like literally, if I'm ill, like I'll obviously like ginger and honey and all of that,
honey, lemon,
and he's like, don't need a potion, just take a lemon sip. I'm like, oh Matthew, but like it's Hey, oh my God, the funniest thing, last week I didn't have any. I literally got back, there was nothing in the fridge,
right?
And I'd been away, and I was like, right, there's no, like I normally have just like oat milk or whatever, and to thicken up my smoothie, this is gross, but I put tofu in there, raw tofu.
Oh.
And I was like, in my head I was like, it's fine, Matt, because it was just thicken it up like milk. Oh my God, he was like, no, just be normal for once, Chess. He was like, please. He was like, go and eat like a bacon sandwich, or just please, just eat something normal. And I was sitting there just drinking my smoothie, trying to prove to him that it was really nice, and I was like, it was gross. It was never.
So we're not recommending tofu smoothies?
Never. Oh my God. Even if you're vegetarian or whatever. But it was so funny. He was like, yeah, maybe I'm just going to make you a full English and you can eat that. But yeah, he's so funny. But yeah, so it's we've come a long way, but we're so good, me and food.
I'm interested to know when, or if there was like a pinnacle point when you were like, how did you come to the realization that you were like, okay, what I'm doing or the way I'm eating or whatever maybe isn't healthy? How did you realize that? Because that's kind of hard when you're in such a set mindset to then go, okay, this isn't right, I shouldn't be trying to keep my weight down. Was it all due to the bikini competitions, or?
It was a pretty extreme thing actually for me. I had a mini stroke 3 years ago, and I lost my hearing, so I'm deaf in this ear, but I lost like 70%, and my brain's kind of adapted to it, and I wear a really cool hearing aid when I need to. And it took that to really hit home like how much I was destroying my body. So my heart rate went from like 140 to 250 in like 5 seconds. Wow. Blacked out, and I had to like army crawl on the floor, and everyone thought I was having like a fit because it looked like I was. My body was like gyrating with it. And it took ages. Like it felt like my head was in like a fishbowl. So it took that extreme moment to realise, and then this ear popped, and then this ear just stayed the same, like it stayed blocked, and everyone was like, oh, come back, like you've probably got brain damage or whatever. I was like, oh cool. So I had like every test, and it just came back that my heart was the problem. So I've had like 12 episodes since, so my heart rate has done the same thing, but luckily my hearing has not changed.
Right.
And I think that it took that to realise like how much I was beating up my body. And I was speaking to it so negatively. I was like, and I kind of just been through like grief. I lost my nana. I think it was just a build up of things and just not fueling my body, over exercising. And it took that to be like it was my body's way of screaming like, please stop, like you're going to ruin us. And that's when I really listened to it. And like people say, listen to your body, and I'd be like, oh yeah, listen to my body. Oh, I want to go to the gym. Didn't want to go to the gym, but I thought I had to. So yeah, it took something like that, unfortunately, but it was a big wake up call. And I've just really tapped into like, right, how can I really appreciate my body for what it's doing for me right now? So it's going back to that. But yeah, it took a lot.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that with us.
It's okay.
Now, Chessie, you're so upbeat and positive, but do you ever have down days where you just don't want to work out or you don't want to be happy?
Yeah, I think it's funny, isn't it? Because we all do kind of share our lives on Instagram, and I do try and share the non-highlights and the bits that like on my stories I'll like show everything, but I think there is a limit. There's like a boundary and there's a line that I never really cross when it's stuff that's really personal to me or people that are going around, like people that are going around me revolving around, no, people that are part of my lives, because I choose to share my life. But whereas like my family, some of Matt's family and friends or whatever, our families don't really choose to share their life, so I have to be respectful that like that's their choice. So I think that it's hard when everyone's like, oh, but you share your whole life, like why wouldn't you tell us this? And it's like, because that's overstepping the line. Like there's only so much that you can take when, and I think it's funny because I never choose not to be happy. I'm just quite like, I think my mood is always like very, like I'm always very positive. It's just my energy changes, as in like sometimes I'll just want to be like completely chilled, but I'm still happy being chilled. It's not like I'm like unhappy being chilled. It's like it takes me a lot to be unhappy, but like I just allow emotions. It's not like, oh, I have to be happy all the time. I'm quite a realist. Like if someone asks me, are you okay, and I'm not, I'd be like, no, I'm not okay. Because I feel like we need more of that. It's like, you don't have to be like, oh no, great, everything's fine. And then you really suffer. I used to just keep everything in and be like, oh, I'm so self-sufficient. I'll literally just work it all out in my brain. But I was like, that is so unhealthy. And then it would just lead up to like this overwhelming like emotional extravaganza. And now I'm just like, I just let little bits out at a time. If something's annoying me, I'll say it. And like, I just think not using social media and not annihilating anyone else. Like if someone's upset me, I will say it to their face. I won't use social media to call them out. Like what, like that just doesn't work with me at all. And like this whole call out culture is just ridiculous. So yeah, there are days where I'm just like, yeah, I could have done without that. Like especially when I'm working, it's like, yeah, I didn't really need that last night when something has happened. But yeah, I mean, you just get on with it, don't you? And you're just like, that's life. There are a lot of other things. In perspective, there's so many other things going on in the world that are so much worse. But yeah, it's just being around good people, like, and actually just people that you can trust, people that you can speak to honestly, and people that aren't like, oh my God, she's so negative, she always speaks about her problems to me. It's like, they get it. Like some of my best friends are just so open with me, and I just take on their problems. And a lot of people are like, oh, you listen to everyone else's problems and you never have that energy for yourself. But it's just like working out that understanding and being like, yeah, I respect myself, and I also need that energy because I give out so much energy.
Well, I was going to say, being such a positive person, and how you mentioned there, your friends will come to you, you know, and sort of offload on you. Do you ever feel drained from that? Because
absolutely. Oh my God, there are some points where I'm like, and especially recently, because like I feel like my body, like travel ruins my hormones. I feel like my cycle is like all over the place, and I feel like that also messes up with like, oh my God,
messes up with everything with
I'm like,
Kills us.
So I think that sometimes I'm like, oh, I just can't do anymore, and I just but I'm getting better at just like completely stopping.
Yeah.
Because like all of us, I feel like, because there's this like performing work on social media. Like everyone will get out their laptop and like take a photo and be like work.
Yeah.
And I feel like you constantly are like, oh, but I should be working and I've got this. And especially like living in cities, you're like, oh, but I could be seeing this person. Like there's always more to be doing.
Yeah.
And actually sometimes I'm like, I just want to lie down and watch this awful Netflix series and just not touch my phone and not speak to anyone and not reply to anyone, and that is fine. Like if you're not hurting anyone and if no one's going to die from you doing that, well, that's a bit brutal, but if you're not hurting anyone, just turn off your phone,
switch off,
do nothing, and just like be around animals.
That's always a good way to be.
Dog.
Get a puppy.
Steal your next door neighbour's puppy if you don't want one yourself.
Now, talking on social media, you've created a pretty huge platform for yourself. When did you realise it was taking off for you?
It's weird because I kind of distance myself a lot from like the following. Like I genuinely don't see that number as like, I think a lot of people see, especially younger people, like look up at people with a certain amount of followers and think they're better, and I'm like, oh, that's everything I'm not about. Like people put them in this like hierarchy of like and status of like, oh, someone with 2 million followers is better than someone with 20,000 followers, and it's like, that is how have we warped, like that is just so warped. So, just burped. I'm so sorry.
Nice. Well,
so sorry. That was
I've managed
water.
to hold my belly rumbling in all episode. I can't believe it. Before you came in, I was like, oh my God, my belly is going to rumble so much.
Oh, I had an
But
apple.
it actually was it nice?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's probably still in my tooth.
No, your teeth look great.
Thanks, babe.
Fantastic.
So I think that that whole like taking off, I just think the more I just opened myself up and was just myself, I think the more people were like, oh my God, that's literally me. Like, in my bedroom dancing around in my knickers. And I think that I just hope that at least one person can be like, oh, Chessie's been through that, so I've been through it, or oh, they can relate to me. So I just think the more like transparent I was and the more open I was, that's when I started to gain that trust, and people be like, oh my God, she's actually a human. Like, and that's like, even with like no makeup, like I used to wear, so I'm literally wearing bronzer today, but I mean 3 years ago I'd be wearing like a full face of makeup, like caked.
You look incredible as well. You look absolutely
kind.
gorgeous. Your skin is glowing. I can't stop staring at you.
Oh, you're so sweet.
I mean, I am facing you, but I can't. Honestly, you look brilliant.
Thank you so much. But I really struggle with my skin, and I think that that's something that like people are like, oh my God, but your skin's amazing now, and I'm like, yeah, but you didn't know. Like everyone obviously assumes that you've just had this like the whole time. Like, so yeah, I think that it's like a gradual thing, and I still think that the people that followed me back when I did bikini competition, or back when like I was heavily fitness, are still following me now because they're like, they've been on that like progression. Yeah, and it's like, it's like a voyage. Like it's proper. Like you have to kind of understand the person from the start to then really like and that's why I genuinely don't do that many ads now, because like I just think that you can obviously like fill your page with ads, and I get it, I get why people do, and I completely appreciate that is part of the job, but I'm very, very selective, because I'm like, I want it to help people, and if it doesn't really help people, I'm like, what's the point? Like, I'm not going to just do it for the money. So yeah.
And your page is full of, body positive, exciting, incredible videos of you dancing around in your underwear, body comparison posts, the most real images, which is really inspirational, and to your audience, I can see why they're so invested in you, because it's not really something we're seeing everywhere, the real side of life. What made you decide to start doing that, and when did you decide to start doing that?
I feel like I said, I've kind of been speaking about body confidence since I was about 16, but just in my own brain, and trying to like knock down stereotypes of what a woman should be. I think it was just like, I was just fed up of seeing perfection, and I was adding to that perfection. And like, I would sit on the tube, this was like 3 years ago, I'd sit on the tube and the girls next to me would just be like editing their body, making themselves smaller, making their legs longer, like editing their spots and like, or their skin. And and it was just the norm. It was like, oh, everyone's doing it. So obviously I'm going to do it back then. And I just think that I was just sick of it. And I was like, I was so worried that people would meet me in real life and be like, oh my gosh, she does not look like she does on Instagram. Like, she looks so much better with all that editing and the Valencia filter. And now I'm just like, oh my God, so old school. I don't think anyone ever uses Instagram
If you don't
filters.
know what Valencia filter is, honestly,
go onto your Instagram.
Yeah. Google it. But we've never actually seen it. It's probably
No,
still
I
there,
know.
isn't
It
it?
is
I mean,
still
I haven't
there.
seen it in a while.
But people obviously go like to the like
There's loads
extremes
of apps
of
now,
like,
isn't there?
I kind of, it was just like a break free moment of being like, oh, if I'm going to use my social media for anything, it's just to literally be myself and just to help people. And I think it's I mean, my dad calls it oversharing. He's like, oh, just a bit much. Like,
Does he?
Yeah, because obviously like he goes into
It's a
his
different
meetings
world,
and stuff,
though.
and like, yeah, it's a different
Now,
world,
like,
and
it
he
really
appreciates
is, yeah.
it. But, and he's like, I know you're helping people, but like people would be like, oh, I saw your daughter's video shaking her bum the other day, and then he's like,
They're my
yes,
fave.
thank you, but obviously not his fave. It was obviously he'd like me to be covered up, but he knows that I'm helping people. So yeah, I think it's just been like over the 3 years that I started posting, it's like, yeah, can post anything now and not even be scared, because I know it's just going to help someone.
And what's the reaction been like from the beginning when you did first start posting this kind of content? What was the reaction like? Has it always been positive?
I'd be lying if I said it was always positive. I mean, like at the start, it was like, oh my God, thank God you're alive. Like, thank God, like I can finally relate to someone. But I mean, like, the more your platform grows, the more opinions you have, obviously. And like, there are some funky opinions out there and unwelcomed opinions, which did used to affect me. Like, I've been called everything. There's been profiles set up of me where they've made me smaller and been like, Chessie King minus 10 kilograms, looks so much better. Or be like, oh, Chessie King looks like she's eaten her friend in this photo, which I mean, now is hilarious. I'm like, yeah, she was delicious.
What goes through people's minds to do that though?
Oh, they're just sad. They're unhappy, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, most of it has been positive, and it's a shame when like I try to not focus on the negative and not like give them airtime, but sometimes it infuriates me and I just have to speak out, because if you don't stand up for yourself on social media, like no one's going to stand up for you. And like your followers can obviously reply back, but at the end of the day, like you kind of have to be your own like spokesperson, and if something happens, you just got to be like, actually no, I'm not taking that. So as much as I try and like ignore the haters and be like, and just like laugh about them in my head, and also like try and impersonate them, like so many times if I get one, I'm like, oh my God, that's hilarious. Like I just try and make a voice and I'm like, oh, you're so like, you've got salty cellulite legs, and I'm like, oh, what a shame. So I just think when you realize that actually, like, you realize your self-worth and you realize your value, and you're like, oh, I'm so like, yes, they're judging me on my body, and they're judging me on like one post. They have no idea. I always say, like, with haters, if they met me and like spent like 2 weeks with me, like full on, got to know me, and if they still hated me after that, fine, fair enough. You go off and have a good life. Like, I genuinely wouldn't care. But it's when they judge me on like a story, which is 15 seconds, or a post, and you're like, oh, you have no idea what I've been through. We just need to stop like instant judgment and like, people are so quick to be like you've done something wrong, and people love juice, they love a bit of gossip, and they're like, oh, did you see? And especially with social media, it's like, oh, did you see that person who got or did you see that person who messed up on stories? And it's like, people love it, and that's obviously why reality TV shows and like all of them are so popular, because people love watching other people's lives, and it's like a mini reality TV show when you're looking at like stories, aren't you? It's like just waiting for them to slip up. Like, people are literally waiting for you to say something so they can pull you up on it. But yeah, then that's trolls. They shouldn't really get any recognition. No. But there are so many nice people in the world. I'm like, I love that there's just like this community, and whoever is in that community and actually supports you. It's so nice that Instagram allows that. Like, people that I would never normally meet. Like, I'd never meet like the other side of the world, and they're so lovely, and it is, it's like we're all kind of like a sisterhood.
You do get a lot of love and support, so forget the negative. You actually get a lot of love and support. Do you get people, I mean, I see that in the comments, but do you get, young girls messaging you, DMing you, wanting to talk to you about their own issues kind of thing? Yeah, and like, I mean, it's sometimes too much, and I have to then like help them find someone that can support them, because like,
it's a lot for you to take on. You can't, and it's not my territory. Like, obviously I talk about my experiences, but I'm not a specialist. Like, I speak about like what I've learned only to guide and help like younger people, but I can't give like life coach advice. Like, there's only one of me, and obviously a lot of them. So I do have to then put them in like put them on the right path and be like, okay, well, this person, and like I have like an amazing backup of people that I recommend them to, whether that's like nutrition advice or like a counsellor. So yeah, there's only so much I can do, and I can just say, look, I hear you. I'm like, I get it, but also like I'm really sorry, I can't help you with that specific thing. It's almost like going to a doctor on Instagram and saying, hi, I've got a wart on my willy, and I really I don't have
a wart on my willy.
I don't have a willy, I promise. I've got a wart and I need you to do it. And they'll be like, on Instagram, they'll be like, oh, but I haven't seen the wart and all that. It's like you can't give specialist advice. Yeah,
I guess I don't actually know that. I'm not a doctor either.
I mean, how many have you got? Come on, share your
not hiding today. But no, I get that. But yeah, okay.
There's only so much you can.
There's only so much you can do. You're human. And with Instagram, do you feel like there's been a shift on Instagram where people are more inclined to show their real them?
Yeah, and it's brilliant. Like, obviously there's more that we can be doing, and there's so much room for like relatable stuff, but yeah, it's amazing seeing it even over the past 3 years. Like, when I first started talking about it, I was like, it was like 2017, it was the first post I did, and I was like, this is the year of confidence, whether that's in your body, at work, like this is the year. Wow. And it's so funny because like I just knew back then, I was like, it's gonna shift from this, like, because all there was like how to get a 9-pack, well, maybe not 9, maybe like 12, how to get a 12-pack in 5 minutes, or like how to shift all these things. It's like I these messages in our head that we had to keep on getting better and better and better, and smaller and smaller, and more tanned and like more blonde and all of this, and you're just like, oh my god, I was just what was the question?
Do you think there's been a shift? You've definitely answered it. You've answered it. So there has been a shift. And I think, especially like for when we grew up, when you were reading magazines or, you know, whatever was available then, it probably was just magazines kind of thing, and books.
Ms.
It was Ms. It was all about appearance, or, well, no, it's basically appearance, really, wasn't it? It was all appearance based. And now there has been a huge shift in sort of the beauty and fashion industry and the world, hopefully. And
like diversity and just inclusivity and all of that. And like just opening your eyes to like everything else. Like, there's so many other things in the world that like maybe because you haven't seen it, you're not aware of it. And like I work with loads of Paralympics, like for Team GB and like tennis players and stuff, and they are phenomenal humans. And you think like, I speak to them really openly about it, and I'm like, right, on your priority list of like, say you have 10 things in the morning that you need to get done, whereabouts is looking good? Like, where on that list is looking good? And they're like, the bottom. They don't, like, they have so many other things, and yet we all look at them and we're in awe, and we're like, wow, what an incredible human. We don't judge them on how they look, we're judging them on like how they've overcome this huge knock, or like, I just think like, and then there's ours going, oh my god, but my hair doesn't look right, or oh my god, I've got a spot on my head, or whatever. The things
puts life into perspective, really.
And I just, working with people like that and just opening my eyes and being aware of it. And I'm just so much more empathetic now. Like, people, like, if someone shoved me like 3 years ago on the tube, I'd be like, oh my god, just shove me, like, come back, like, scream at them,
let me have this out with you,
literally. And now I don't know why, but I think it's because of after losing my hearing, I'm constantly, I've got this like really kind voice in my head that's like, no, you know what, they might have something wrong with them, they might be visually impaired, they might not have spatial, like they might have like dyspraxia or whatever. And I go through all those things, and then it makes me feel better, because I'm like, no, that is fine, it wasn't a horrible thing. And it's funny, just little things like that, and just being like, just be kinder to the world, give them like that millisecond of not reacting straight away and be like, oh, I'm gonna, you just hit me, and being like, no, they might have something wrong with them, or they might have had a really horrible morning at work, or they might have lost a family member. Like, there are so many, you never know what's going on with someone. Like, I have no idea what you went through last night, but yet we could just be here speaking and be like, everything's fine. Like, you never know anyone's narrative, like, and what they've been through, what they're going through, what's going to happen. Like, I
think we could all learn from that. I really do. Thank you.
Just be kinder to people.
It's a big thing. And okay, your boyfriend. Let's talk about Matt. So he's in the fitness industry as well.
Yes.
And you've spoken about before how he's also struggled with his body image issues and type of thing. Is this kind of a journey? Have you gone on a journey together do you think?
Yeah, I think so. It's funny because like we've been going out for like 3 years now, and he didn't do a bikini competition. He did a competition. He probably wishes he was in a bikini, always wearing mine.
Is he?
Oh my god,
Love
for videos.
it. Love it.
I'll come
Actually,
home and
I
he'll
mean,
be
I
in my
have seen a
sports
few
bra,
things.
and I'm like, Matthew, you're stretching there. He loves it. So I think it's funny. We did it exactly the same time, like literally to the day. The same, as in, it wasn't the same competition.
I've seen your picture next to each
yeah,
other.
it's mad.
Stop.
So it's wild because he was like, he's obviously ginger and very pale, and like he's unbelievable. He's so gorgeous. But he was so dark, and I've never seen him that tan because like they obviously smothered him in the sand, like they did me. But yeah, we have been on like, I think as well because he's diabetic, he's type 1, and he talks a lot about invisible. Like people would never know unless they saw him like shooting up, he says, but it's not. It like insulin pens, and I just think that he's come to like a place of he's definitely stopped being so meticulous with everything, and like he's really come to a place like he's more functional now, as in like he loves challenges that actually are more than just how he looks. Like he loves training for like he's doing the Olympics. Oh my god, why do I always say Olympics? He's not doing the Olympics. He wishes he was doing the Olympics.
I thought you just let something out there, like I was like, oh, is that an exclusive that she shouldn't have said?
No, imagine Matt's doing the Olympics. No, he's doing the marathon. I keep on saying Olympics. So he's doing the marathon for 2020, and for a diabetic that is actually quite a lot to like balance your levels for 26 miles. Like he has to like work out how much sugar goes in, and then if he falls and whatever. So it's just like it's almost like doing a mathematical equation in your head like every second of your life. So I think that he's really come to like this place of I want to challenge myself, and he still loves fitness. Like he loves doing it. So it's like his almost like his therapy. It's his medicine. And he feels so good doing it. Like he doesn't do it,
and that's when you should do something, isn't it? When if it makes you feel good and you enjoy it,
that's what like everyone's like, oh, but I hate the gym. I'm like, don't go to the gym then, find something that will make you feel really good. Like even just like go on a trampoline and just jump for a bit. You get so sweaty on a trampoline. Just do fun things that make you like smile instead of just doing serious like fitness. If
what
the
you
gym
think
isn't
you
for
have to do.
Like one of my best friends, Sammy, she gets me on like the most honestly the funniest classes. So like she'll book us in and she'll be like, okay, so we're like flying from the sky, and there's gonna be music on, and then we're gonna jump on. Like she's so like creative, and she just hates serious fitness. So we're just throughout the class, like, I think the instructors hate us, but we're like whoop whoop, like trying to get us going. We need that, like
you do. That's it. That's how you work.
Cheerleader, so just do something that is fun for you.
Chessie, I think your voice around body confidence has already done so much already and made such an incredible impact. But what more do you hope to do with your voice moving forward?
I think just take it offline, as much as obviously I think online will always be there. I just think using that voice and just trying to spread the word offline, especially with the younger generation, and just try and help as many people as I can, because I think that now is the time that especially young people need that support. And I'm kind of the same as everyone else when like new platforms come up and they're like, oh my god, I'm going to use TikTok and I'm going to use this and this and this, and I'm like, oh, like normally I would like carry on with it, but I feel like we're at that age now where like we'll leave that to the younger generation.
I can agree with you.
And I feel like fine, but I can't actually use my voice on TikTok because it's not like, I don't know, like you can't really write captions. It's like fun little videos. It's not like you trust someone like you do on Instagram. So I just hope to just keep on spreading the word like on my school tour next year, and just hopefully spread it other ways.
I can't wait to see more of your school tour. I'm excited for that.
Thank you.
And for 2020, is there anything else you can let us in on? Like what's happening in 2020? What's big? Do we know yet? Oh, I think Chessie's looking at her manager guys to be like, can I say this? We can.
There's like 38,000 words that are coming to you.
38,000 words.
And a lot of like interactive things. So that might help you, hopefully. And that's it. No, I'm joking. There's loads of other things. So I'm working with an anti-bullying charity who I've worked with for like 3 years, and we are basically doing the school tour around that, so that I make sure that I have that support, because it's also. It's a lot for me. I go to these school tours on my own at the moment. I do school talks and I'm like, and afterwards I'm like, oh my God, I was like, and so I'm doing that with Cybersmart, and hopefully Instagram is supporting it, and they are already on the back of it. So I think just hopefully changing the curriculum and working now to hopefully make my children's future a lot easier, and that they don't have to go through all of this. I just hope that we're not talking about body confidence and body image issues at that, like when they're our age, because there's so many other things going on in the world, and like
there really is.
We just like, obviously you're best friends with your best friends for everything that's inside them, right? Because you love them for who they are. You would never like be like, oh no, I love my best friend because she has really nice legs, or I love her because she's got a really nice face. Like you're just not going to be remembered for that stuff. So let's just work on all the bits inside us. I called them like the juicy bits, because there's so much more, so much more substance and like grit, and so that and a lot of other things. But like I'm not one to be like, oh, I can't say, which is why I haven't said that, but I just love like involving everyone at different stages of the process.
I can't wait to see what you're up to. I'm honestly really, really excited for you.
Thank you.
And
you.
Oh, well.
I'm Pretty Little Thing.
Well, I mean, we'll be somewhere pink on a unicorn. You know what?
Yes, you will.
That's going to be us.
You're going to make a real unicorn fly.
Yeah.
Well, not unicorn. A real one. They are real, sorry. They are real.
A toy unicorn, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have toy flying unicorns. Who knows?
I reckon like drones next year.
Oh, they'll be awesome.
And then make it into a unicorn, and then sit on it.
That's the plan. Kamani, if you're listening, that's the next thing we're doing. Okay, and to end this podcast, Chessie, would you mind giving us some words or advice to any young girls or young guys out there who may be struggling with body confidence, to help them go into 2020 strong and feeling powerful?
Yes, so you are not alone. I mean, we are all going through it, and we're so much more similar than we think. Like, we are connected in a way, especially I feel like a connection to women all around the world. Just be kinder to yourself, be kinder to others, and own your body. And you might not be at that stage of being best friends with yourself, but that is fine. Like, you don't have to love every single part. You just have to appreciate and accept what you have. And I'm here. I've been through it all, and I'm sure you have. And just speak out. Don't keep it inside bubbling up. Just speak about it.
Chessie, it's been amazing getting to know you today. I could honestly carry this podcast on for another 3 hours.
Oh, till the end of 2020.
The end of 2020. We literally could.
Thank you.
It's been fantastic. Thank you. Such
you
an
so
inspiration.
much.
And I can't wait to see what you continue to do in 2020 and in the future.
Thank
you very much for joining us.
You, Nat.
And to all of our listeners, thanks so much for listening. We hope you've enjoyed the episode with Chessie. If you have enjoyed it, please make sure to leave us a review and let us know what you enjoyed about the episode.
Yeah.
And subscribe.
I thought you were going to ask me. I enjoyed.
Chessie's enjoyed it. Have you enjoyed it?
I loved it.
I'm glad. I'm so
Thank
glad.
you.
This has been amazing. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year to everyone at home. This has been PLT Behind Closed Doors with Chessie King.